Hello everyone, welcome back to another NHL 2023 franchise mode video. In today's video, we will be starting the 2025-2026 season. So there's going to be two main things that we are going to start doing. The first thing is to assign our scouts. Now I've already done that, but I'll explain a little bit about the process and what I'm looking for. And the second thing will be to prune our roster / create some value out of assets that we are not using. Basically make some trades. So let's start by looking at our scouting situation. So the scouting situation is the most important thing that we have to do in franchise mode. It's also the most tedious and maybe the most boring part of the game, but the main idea is that we need to assign our scouts to different regions of the junior leagues here, and we need to scout players individually. So I've got a bunch of scouts in Russia, Liga, SHL, etc. I've got them all scouting for potential and comparison. They're going to basically look at as many picks as they can within the top 200 from now until around January 1st. For some of the leagues here, they'll be looking until maybe mid-November because there's a limited number of prospects. So we'll be checking back on this pretty routinely in order to update our prospect or our scouting assignments. Now, scouting is really, really important because the main way that we create surplus value in our organization and the main way that we create a system where we keep having players that are available to fill in our roster really comes through our scouting and our ability to mine top prospects. So if our scouting is good, we'll have players that can come in as replacements when we make trades, and we'll be able to have a surplus of trade fodder. Basically, if we have a lot of these elite level prospects, other teams will value them as well, and we can use them in order to really have as much flexibility as we want when it comes to our moves. So again, the scouts are all assigned. So the next thing that we're going to do is take a look at our roster situation and see if we can create some cap space and just do a little bit of pruning. So I'm basically going to sort by salary here, and we're going to take a look at who is playing and who is not playing, and see if we can just kind of get rid of some players around the edges that we don't need. So one player that I've been thinking about is Podkolzin. So we have not been using this player. In fact, I don't think he's even on the roster. If we edit our lines, he's also a right wing. So let's take a look at our right wing situation in the NHL here. Now I could trade him. The thing about Podkolzin is he'll be a nice fill-in for one of our wings should I move on from them. I think Perreault we're going to keep because Perreault's on a good deal for now. If we trade out Dvorak is a center, so I mean, if we're replacing a center, we'll probably look to an AHL replacement to cover that, like maybe Soderblom. So I think the right move for now will be to, the big thing is, do we have an in-house replacement? So on right wing, depending on the development of Matanen here, we might not need Podkolzin, but this is, I guess, a little bit of a risk to trade him right now. So maybe we'll hold and keep him as depth. It really depends on what we want to do with some of these rental players here. So this guy's on a 1-year deal. It depends on our record, I guess, later on in the season. And it depends on, Anyways, let's take a look at our defense situation. So I also want to take a look at maybe trading players that I don't believe in anymore, or players that I think basically aren't developing. So we want to create space because we need basically roster spots to play some of our developing prospects. So Helge Grands, I'm not really convinced that this prospect is actually developing anymore. So this guy's at 23, and he's an 80 overall. Yeah, this guy, there's a lot of potential with this player here, so we'll keep this guy. Drylen. 21. Elias Pettersson. Yeah, I mean, okay, so I think the first move we'll look at is getting rid of Helga Grands. This is a decent player, but we need to create some roster space. So let's see if we can find this player here. Okay, so let's see what the market for Grands is, if we can get a good return. I just want to do find trade to kind of save some time. Okay, so he's worth a second and a third round pick from Anaheim. Okay, so we'd have a little bit of a swap here. Let's see. P. Sedin. I think this was a prospect in last year's draft. Okay, so an age 20 prospect. Yeah, we might consider that. There's at least a little bit of upside, whereas this guy probably is what he is. So we'll exit trading, and we'll try that again, taking a look at some of the offers. Let's see. Okay, so another D prospect with 2 years of term left. Okay, let's take a look and see how good this player is. Okay, so a 21-year-old, 6'6", 232 pound, 75 overall prospect, drafted in the first round in 2022. So kind of similar. They could be nothing. I don't like the age as much, but there's potential for a little bit more here than what we've got. I mean, it'd be great if that was a 20-year-old prospect. The thing about players in this game, you kind of know what they are, I think, when they get into that sort of 23, 24-year-old range. And I mean, that's probably just true of the game as a whole. So we'll take a look at potential offers for Grands. Okay, so we have the piece of Dean. Okay, so there's a lot of offers here. I'm gonna kind of just take a look at some other offers outside of some of the players, and we'll kind of go back to this. Yeah, we definitely want a young player in return. We don't want a player like Tanev. We're not looking for a roster player. This would be an awful trade. We're not looking to take salary back. A lot of picks that are in the future. We want a 2026 set of picks, so this one would be a decent deal here at 2026 second rounder. Now, the thing about trading for prospects is I kind of want to trade for something that I think is going to be better than the value of a second round pick, basically. So again, no, this prospect is too old. Okay, so we looked at Dallas's offers. So let's see, Jay Patola. Let's take a look. I wonder if there's a way to look at the assets proposed in the deal outside of doing this, because this is a little bit tedious. Okay, so an 18-year-old prospect, 5'9", drafted, second round pick in 2025. Okay, yeah, so this is a decent deal. This guy could definitely... basically the equivalent of trading for a second round pick. And that's why they're offering us the fourth there. So we'll keep taking a look. Now, what we're doing here, again, might seem a little tedious, but this is how we build a really good team. We build a really good team by creating value in the margins. And we create value in the margins by developing a very robust prospect system. And we create value in the margins by making sure that we get value on every asset that we have. So we don't want to have like free agents walk. We don't want to, and we don't want to just have assets sitting there taking up space. So honestly, I think I like this prospect the most. They're kind of similar here, but this guy, the 6'6" I think he was 21 years old. Left shot. Yeah, I mean, this guy could be something. If it's intriguing, it's worth taking the bet. So we'll try this out. I think if this guy pans out, that could be awesome. Okay, so there goes Helga Grands. So we'll just do best AHL lines for now because we're still making moves. So let's again take a look at our contract situation here. So Dvorak is another player that we have to watch out for. Dvorak I have on a 2-year deal. There is a chance that Dvorak could regress playing on a 4th line role, and that might make Dvorak hard to trade. So I might want to actually consider trading Strome sooner than later so that Dvorak can move up a little bit in the lineup. And the thing about some of these players that we sign is that their value could decrease. Okay, so here's another player that we need to move on from. A 77 overall, 24-year-old player. We don't need this player. He's taken up a roster spot from... Okay, so no trades found. So we'll probably have to create a deal involving that player. Yeah, okay. I mean, look at that. Jetway was on a great deal here, making less than $1 million bucks. 82 overall. I also want to check our goalie situation. So a big thing that you have to look out for if you have a lot of prospects is you have to make sure that you are creating opportunity for your prospects to play and develop. So in the AHL right now, we have 3 goalies, which isn't ideal. We have, so we need to trade some goalies. In fact, I want to trade probably both of our goalies here, or at least one of them. DeSmith, Lindbergh. I mean, we're getting good value out of Lindbergh, so we might as well keep Lindbergh for now. Okay, so we know what we need to get rid of, including potentially Podkolzin if we want to go down that route. So we'll have to propose a trade. So the best time to do trades is really actually in the offseason when teams have surplus cap space. That allows you to have a larger number of partners that you could potentially trade with. So, I mean, mid-season's not ideal, but you do what you can. So, let's see. We are looking for... this guy, and we're looking for the goalie. So we're gonna move out I mean, I think we know what Silvos is, to be honest, and I think we also know what the Smith. So these guys are literally just taking up roster spots. So in order to replace them, we can try to maybe replace them with prospects. This becomes a little bit tricky. I mean, let's see if we can just trade them for a single player right now. Let's see. Because it's early in the season, maybe the roster situation isn't sorted at all. It would be great if we could play, if we can trade for a player, like a top 6 potential player here. Okay, so they would have too many skaters in their system. So that's bad. Let's see. If worst comes to worst, we can at least trade for younger players that still have some upside. Yeah, this is a bit tricky. Okay, so maybe we'll start a little smaller here. DeSmith for this guy. Let's see if we can do this. Okay, perfect. Now, it would have actually been better to trade DeSmith, or to see if we could have traded DeSmith for a draft pick, which was my bad, but it's okay. So we're going to see if we can find a buyer for Silvos here using this method. So there's no trades found. Not a big deal. Yeah, so this is our... Oh yeah, Noel Gunler as well. So Noel Gunler's 77 overall at 23 years of age. Really don't think this is going to be a useful player in the league, so let's see if we can just get something for him now where there's still a little bit of value. Okay, so let's try and just get a high pick. Okay, yeah, so 2026 third and a 6th round pick. I like that. Actually, you know what? We'll hold on to Gunler just a little bit. I think seeing all this interest in the player here makes me a little concerned that they might become a little more. So let's take a look anyways at our line situation. Looking at the main roster, oh boy, okay. It's a little bit chaotic here. I guess they want Dawson Ling as a center, which I guess is fine with me. If they like these lines, then so be it. Okay, yeah, it's pretty much the same as before. And on defense, also the same as before. Another player that we're going to have to look to move at some point is probably Soderstrom. I mean, we're paying Soderstrom right now quite a lot to play on the 3rd pair. But, okay, I like this. So I like that this player is playing in a top 6 role. Who is this player? A top 4D. Did I draft this guy? I did. Okay. Okay, so I want to scratch this player, I think. I want to play Sontag because Sontag has higher potential. Honestly, we have a lot of prospects that we could be playing right now. So that's maybe thinking as well that we could do some pruning, just even with our prospect depth, because we have more slots than we can even afford to keep, basically. I mean, I could also consider, the thing about these two prospects here is that, yeah, they're top 6 potential players. I mean, they're developing to some extent. Elias Pettersson, I don't know. I'm a little skeptical about this player. One thing I do want to check on, I'm a little worried this player might progress if they are playing in the minors, but I see this player as kind of my Victor Hedman, Quinn Hughes replacement sometime down the line. So they will eventually have a spot. If not this season, then next season. So anyways, I think we're just going to hold for now. All our scouting assignments are set. So we're going to simulate up to November. So we'll go up to November. We'll try November 13th. We're going to pass on that one. So I think the big thing about playing this mode is that there is a lot of careful decision making that you have to think through and work through. A lot of these little moves can, I guess, add up if you make too many mistakes. So you really want to try and be efficient with your moves. So anyways, we completely rolled the preseason. I think our scouts are good. Yeah, they're tracking along nicely. Okay, yeah, so we're fine. Keep simulating. So let's see how our record is. Okay, so we won our first game of the season. I'll be shocked if this team isn't good this year. Wow, okay, so not a good start. We're definitely going to decline this. I don't know why they put that deal out there. Be a good year for rookies. Interesting. So our record as well, by the time we reach the trade deadline, is going to determine a lot of what some of the moves that we're going to make will be. So actually 8-5-0 is not bad, and it looks like we're trending upwards. So now I want to assign my scouts, or at least take a look. Okay, so some of these scouts here, like my WHL scout, this one finished way sooner than anticipated. So we'll just reassign again, all the way up to January 5th. Actually, I'm gonna assign this scout to just scout all the way up until February. So February 7th, going up to 109. And yeah, this scout's busy till January 3rd. We can take a look at the work that this scout did. Okay, yeah, so we have a lot of incomplete assessments, meaning that we just want the scout to basically do their job again. Go through it one more time. So this is perfect. They'll be done basically by January. Now our other WHL scout here is almost done as well. So I had Woodworth go to 109. So I will have this scout. We'll have them go to February as well. And this is pretty tedious, so likely we'll just kind of skip through this in the video. And we'll catch you guys on the flip side. But yeah, I'm just going to continue going through this until this is all sorted out. Alright, so all of my scouting assignments have been updated. We're good to go. So we're going to continue simulating now until about the first week of January. We'll do another assessment and then do another round of updated scouting. We'll have to reassign some scouts again. So to reiterate, this is a little bit of a repetitive process. Probably one of the drawbacks of this game is that it becomes very mechanical. There's a lot of repetition. There's not a lot of nuance with some of this stuff like scouting. I mean, there is, but you do a lot of the same kind of thing. And maybe that's what it's like in real life, but I feel like there's a little more to it than that. Anyways, we're 10-6. 11-6, so the team will likely go on a heater. I mean, it's not uncommon for the team to start a little slowly, but yeah, it looks like we kind of know what this team is now by around the 20 game mark. And we'll definitely know what this team is by the 30 game mark, more or less. So we'll look at the draft class a little bit later after more scouting has been done. I gotta say, I'm not crazy with our record here. I kind of thought the team would be more dominant. Last year, we were a much better team than this year's iteration of the team. Probably because we've lost Austin Matthews. I guess the computer doesn't see us as quite as good as we were last time, just losing that absolute top end player, which is something to, I guess, consider when we're signing players like that. But then again, we have Hedman on defense, so we basically just substituted one franchise player for another. We'll take a look at the roster or the lines after the simulation here to see if any of our players have developed or changed in their ratings. We're definitely not doing that trade. We don't need Pacioretty. So another thing, I'm not looking to make win now moves. So I'm not looking to make trades to take on any kind of cap liability. We don't need a guy like Burakovsky. We're just not looking to win right now. As good as the team is, we're not looking to make these kind of in-season trades for rentals to further bolster the lineup. Because this isn't the best version of this, or this isn't where the best version of this team is going to necessarily be. The best version of this team will probably occur sometime around when our AHL prospects are basically ready to play. When we get those 2 or 3 X-Factor players to come up to the team, that's when we start buying. So anyways, let's look at our lines and see if there's any improvement in some of our players. So D-Ling is pretty much the same. I kind of liked having D-Ling play on the first line before, so I think our lines looked something like this. Now, what's great about actually this situation here is that all of these players are pretty much interchangeable. Okay, what's going on here? Actually, Marchand has gotten worse. Alright, so yeah. So maybe just giving these rookie players some first line opportunity that will kind of help them develop a little bit. You know, in terms of defense, everything is basically the same. I mean, actually, hold on. Take a look at our offense again. Okay, so Dvorak has stayed the same. Again, I'm worried about Dvorak. We're going to have to ship out Dvorak at some point. I don't like that Dvorak is playing fourth line for us. Actually, hold on. We're going to go back to that. I want to take a look at the goalie situation on both our teams. So I guess we'll start with the AHL because I accidentally hit the wrong button. Okay, so we have Blomqvist and Green Tree. And in the NHL, we have Silvos and Lindbergh. So I would like to move out Silvos still. Or perhaps we could move out Lindbergh and then promote. Okay, so I think that's going to be the play. I'm not too concerned about this team having great goaltending. It's about having great goaltending in the future rather than great goaltending right now. So let's see if we can get something from Lindbergh. And that will give us an opportunity to promote Blomqvist to an NHL starting job anyways, which might give us a player of the higher potential. So where is Lindbergh? All right, here we go. F Lindbergh. Okay, let's see if we can get something for this guy. All right, so a couple teams that are looking to just take trade picks. So that would be useful because we're not looking to take a contract back. A 5th and a 6th round pick. I mean, even these picks are useful when it comes to the draft. If we want to trade up, then having extra 5th and 6th round picks and 7th round picks usually work as great sweeteners. So we'll take this deal because we don't take a contract back, which is going to be useful. Okay, so that guy is done and dusted. Let's go to some roster moves. In the system, goalies. So I want to promote Blomqvist. Confirm. So now Green Tree is our only goalie in the AHL. Actually, that's a little bit of a problem. Or maybe it's not. Okay, let's see. Can we exist with just one goalie in the minors? Because it'd be great if we could just play that guy. I don't think the idea of like rest really exists. I mean, we're not playing with injuries right now, so I don't think it really matters. Okay, so we want to make Blomqvist the starter. Again, we're not trying to win right now. It doesn't really matter. Okay, Zubov. Who the heck is this? I guess the computer just created a goalie and gave me a goalie. That's fine. We'll take that. And now Green Tree has more opportunity here. Medium elite prospect they need to play. So that is good. Now let's assign the scouts. So again, I won't make you guys just watch me do this, but I'll just get it started to kind of show you a little bit about what's going on. So one thing that we can do is we can check. Wow. Okay. So it'll be cool to take a look at some of these prospects when the time comes. This guy's got a lot of X Factor abilities. Yeah. So as we can see here, this player is not fully scouted. If you look at the potential, we have 2-bar medium elite. That means that we don't really know exactly what the potential of this prospect is going to be. Therefore, I'm just going to send this player to, or this scout to just scout the draft class. And I'm going to make it so that all my scouts are going to scout all the way up until about March. Well, actually, maybe we'll make that April. Let's see, I have some that are working up until February. So maybe we'll start doing April. So we've kind of got 3 dates to kind of check in on. So the Russian scouts, let's see how well they're doing. Okay, yeah, so we need more looks. Let's try this. I actually want to go up until March and see how far that takes me. So that's going to 65. Whoops. Wrong scout. And this one is going to 74, and we'll see how far we can go if we scout all the way up until March. Okay, so we only make it to 126, which isn't ideal. So I think I'm just going to have... I'll have this scout go till April 6th. So this is going to be a little bit of a wacky way to do this. But then we'll go back to the original scout again. And we're going to go to 194. Yeah, and then we'll have them just fill in the gaps until they're scouting until April. So anyways, I'm going to go and do this for the rest of the scouts again, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Alright, so let's get back to the simulation here. I've got all our scouts assigned to some jobs until about February, so we'll sim for the rest of this month, and then I'll pick up again with that. So we're going to go to the 7th here, so we'll see how the team is doing. Just drinking some water. Yeah, so yeah, we're looking pretty good here. We're leading our division, which is pretty good. I wonder if the change in goaltending has hurt us. Well, a little bit of a losing streak, actually. We will decline this trade. Wow, okay, we are on a massive losing streak. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5-game losing streak. I wonder if this coincides with us trading our starting goaltender away. Who knows? I do not want Chris Kreider. Decline that trade. Oof, that was a brutal month. We actually dropped in our division quite a lot. I think we lost most of the games in January. That might have come about through trading our goalie, to be honest. But anyways, let's update the scouting assignments again. So once again, I won't make you guys sit through this. It's a lot of the same thing as before. I just need to update some of the WHL scouts. So again, we'll catch up in a second here. All right, so once again, the scouting assignments are all sorted out, so we don't have to interrupt for a while now. So let's simulate all the way up to the trade deadline, and we'll evaluate from there. So it's good to give yourself an extra day of buffer before the trade deadline. So up to this point, we want to make some moves and basically do what we can before we're not able to make any more trades. I think what I'm seeing here is that this team is Connor Garland. No thanks, we're good. I think this team is kind of trending towards being a middle of the pack group. I might have kind of hamstrung the team when I traded away our goalie. Maybe they're just working on building a little bit of chemistry, or the team just like isn't really rolling with much momentum right now. I mean, we're second in the division, so it's not that bad, but I mean, I don't think we're really a contender yet. I don't know why it wants to keep offering me those kind of trades. Yeah, so we're 36, 24, and 3. We're definitely not... I mean, who knows? Watch me make a bunch of moves and this team like wins a Stanley Cup or something like that after shipping out a bunch of our talent. But we're definitely not as good as I would like us to be. I don't really think we're a contender right now, which is fine. So let's take a look at the lines, and then we'll make some deals. So Marchand looking pretty bad. 84 overall. I mean, everyone else has stayed the same, which is good. So if I trade, I mean, I think I kind of want to trade Bucenovic here. Because maybe we'll be able to fetch a good return on that player. Okay, so we're getting some nice development here. Tanabe is actually up to an 82. That guy could actually fill in on the main roster. You know what? I want to give this guy opportunity over this 24-year-old player here. Yeah, I hate to say, I think Soderblom. Nothing happening with Soderblom. Yeah, which is too bad, really. Okay, so Tanabe can fill in on left wing if I move a left winger out. Let's check on defense. Our defense is looking pretty much the same. I see they put Cadence again, which is too bad. I want Sontag to play. So I'm going to scratch this player. We're going to have to do some pruning for sure in the off season. Yeah, this guy is not developing, playing here, which is not ideal. Okay, so I think we have to do a couple things. This player needs to play in the NHL. I don't think playing in the minors here is helping their development. Yeah, and I really feel like Dodonov should be on the top pair. Actually, wow, look at that. Okay, so they got a major boost playing together. Actually, we could try something like this. I could put Quinn Hughes on the third pairing and then demote Wu. We could put Mintikov on the third pairing. We could demote Wu or trade Wu and then call up that player from the AHL, which actually kind of like as a move. So let's do that while that's still on my mind. And that will free up another roster spot as well for one of my AHLD. So as much as I like Wu is on a good deal. We need to create opportunity. Two third-round picks, pretty intriguing. Okay, let's take a look at this. A top 6 forward prospect. Let me see. 77 overall, age 22, hard pass. I gotta reset this. So once again, let's try and find a trade for Jet Wu. Okay, well, take a look at this one. I have a feeling that these are all kind of older prospects. Oh, okay, maybe not. We got an 18-year-old former first-round pick. top 6 potential. Yeah. No, this seems like a good deal. Let's do this. Perfect. So we're going to call up Galley up here. We really need that player to work. Like, it has to work with that player. Now, on the main roster, I want to see if we can trade Marchand. We need to get something from Marchand. Whoops. So we'll just do best NHL lines for now, and then I'll fix that. I bet Marchand has no trade value. He has a little bit of trade value, but who has the $10 million in cap space to take this player? Yeah, that's not a good deal. So this is a tough deal for us because there's a lot of term on Swayman here. I mean, actually, let's take a look, because maybe we can deal Swayman. Okay, an 85 overall goalie. Oh, man, that's tough. Okay, we need to see our situation here. Yeah, maybe we promoted Blomqvist too soon. Man, that's an interesting trade. What is this other piece that we're getting back here? So just the guy. So, I mean, we get the third. The hope is that we can turn Swayman into something, or we could just use Swayman. Okay, I don't like this, but we're going to take a bit of a gamble and try this trade. Now, I mean, having Swayman probably makes us a better team this year, to be honest. I want to see what we can get for this guy if we put him on the market. Okay, so we can get 2 second-round picks. You know, we'll deal him in the offseason because I think he has value to us now as a goalie that we can use. We probably need a goalie, to be honest. Okay, so we have Silvos and Swayman, Silvos and Greentree, and then we have Blomqvist and Swayman on the main roster here. Now let me check out our winger depth. Yeah, that's nice. So we have a little bit of internal promotion here. And D-Ling has developed a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I think playing Pettersson... Oh, this is a bit of a mess. Here we go. Playing Pettersson on the second line is better because everybody benefits from playing with him. Vucinovic. Yeah, and there we go. We have a roster spot for Podkolzin again. So Podkolzin is a good filler. I want to look look at Tanabe. So this guy's a pure left wing. Role as a third line scoring forward. Yeah, I don't know. The game just doesn't like Lekaramaki. Like, we probably could move on from Lekaramaki, but again, we want to probably just wait until the off season to make a lot of these moves. Now, I'm really interested in what I should do here with Tanabe. Do I trade? Because I feel like our replacements aren't really quite actually ready yet. We don't have enough depth really to make these moves yet. If I trade Dvorak, I guess we can put Tanabe on our third line, but I like how Tanabe is playing top line minutes in the AHL. And we're happy with this top six for now. This guy is also on a 1-year deal. Maybe we have to see what we can get for this player, and we'll just replace again in free agency next season. So, let's see. Okay, so a second round pick and a top 4. Okay, so let's check out what this prospect they're offering me is. So basically, the value of this player has to exceed. Oh yeah. Okay, no, this is good. I really think we should go for this here. Guy Gervais, 75 overall, top 4D, age 19, and a second round pick. Done. So I'm kind of curious about what exactly that does. We'll just do best NHL lines for now. Who the heck is this, Matthew? Okay, so we have some random center playing on the third line, which honestly is fine with me. So that bumps up Perot. Still, these weird lines. I want D-Lang playing on my first line. So we got Sharon Govich now playing in the top 6. Okay, so our fourth line is like pretty bad. I actually might want to consider re-signing Strome and Sharon Govich and just giving these guys a little more term here. Maybe we can get them on a good deal because they're decent players right now, providing some depth for the organization. And on defense, yeah, it's messing with my lines again. Just want to put Hughes there. Put, yeah, with Galiev. Look at this pairing here. So this guy is 5'10", this guy is 5'9". They're both offensive D-men. They have a +5 rating together, which I bet is pretty interesting in reality. And then we have Hedman still. So we need to take a look at our contract. Oh, hold on. We need to look at our AHL lines. What the? Bakersfield. Bakersfield. Why am I seeing the lines for the Bakersfield Condors? It must have been a glitch. Okay, so this is all the same as it was before. Now we need to take a look at the defense. So what's going on with some of these players that I traded for? So we have to do some roster moves. Right, okay, so that was my mistake. Some of these players, okay, this guy needs to go to the minors. And that should be good. Now if we edit our lines, this is always kind of confusing for me. Okay, so we gotta scratch this guy. Is just not working out. Now, what did I trade for? Did I trade for a forward? I don't remember what I traded for just recently. Maybe that guy is not even signed yet. Yeah, it was Gervais. Guy Gervais. Lefty, okay. Where is this player? Okay, maybe that player is in the system. I don't know where this guy is. Maybe we'll just simulate a day and see if we can find them. Okay, I want to get rid of this guy, so we'll trade him for an asset. Will anybody take this player? Let's see if we can just get some draft picks. Will you trade him for a 6th round pick? Probably not. Yeah. A 7th? No. Okay. Woof. Okay, so let's see who's a pending UFA. Man, that's too much money. Okay, so internal replacement next year. I mean, we can trade him out actually and then just call up one of the AHL players. I don't want to spend $5 million on that guy, so we're going to look for a trade as well. Okay, let's see. Age 21, drafted. No. Let's check out this trade offer. $19 years old, 70 overall, top 4D. No. Buffalo really wants him. Okay, P. Fimis. I want to take a look at what else they have in their system here. Yeah, they're trying to get rid of Osland. I mean, if I want one of their prospects, I would probably want... Yeah, maybe Hickey? No, I mean, they tried to offer this player to me. Yeah. Okay, so we'll see. I'm sort of considering keeping this player. Like, they might have more value to me as okay, former first round pick. top 10. I mean, this player is probably a bust, but age 20, it's 70 overall. Yeah, I kind of want to take this. I kind of want to take a flyer on that. Okay. So we're gonna call up Soderblom to play for us. We'll do whoops. I'll just do best NHL lines. So yeah, that looks pretty good. So we're like a little thin here, but on the fourth line, but that's fine, to be honest. And yeah, we have some nice internal promotions. And I mean, our defense and our goaltending is better. So we'll see how this team does come April. But I think in terms of the trade deadline, yeah, I think in terms of the trade deadline, that's honestly not bad. I'm pretty happy with that. I'm still kind of confused about why we're missing a D, or do we have too many contract slots or something like that? Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little bit puzzled over all of this. Yeah, I mean, we have 45 contracts, so I don't understand why. Okay, everyone, so I think that's probably going to be a wrap for today's video. So we've done a lot of stuff. We've signed our scouts to scout all over the world. We've made a bunch of trades, basically trading off a good chunk of our off-season acquisitions. We've got some new prospects in the system. So I've put Daryl Norton, the player that we just traded and got from the Avs, traded for and got from the Avs. So I've put him on the wing here. I'm also going to make some final adjustments to try and get some of our players into the lineup that or some of our better players into, or not better, but some of our players with more potential. So I'm tired. We have Yaskin here. So I'm going to address Yaskin and substitute Yaskin for Klimovich. So something that we'll have to do in the off-season is to start pruning our AHL team and getting rid of some of these excess players here that I don't think are panning out. So where's Klimovich? I don't think Klimovich is really working out. 76 overall, like, might become a depth player, but we really need to focus on developing players that we think are actually going to play for the main squad. Okay, so I have to edit the power play here. This is terrible. Okay, what's wrong with power play line 1? I don't understand. This is really frustrating sometimes. So I guess it doesn't want those players to play. It wants the original guys. Whatever. I mean, we'll trade them away next offseason. So we'll get rid of these three players right here playing for the AHL team. But yeah, so I think that's a wrap for today. I mean, maybe one last thing that we can do is just take a look at our current situation. So we're going into the next season with, well, I mean, currently we have $8.63 million in cap space. In terms of draft picks, we've got 2 first-round picks, a second, a third, a fifth, 2 fifths, and a sixth for the upcoming draft. And then in our next year's draft, we actually have a lot of picks. We have 2 seconds, we have 4 thirds. So we don't have a first in 2028, which isn't ideal. I actually don't remember trading that pick, but going into this round, going into this year, I guess it's a little bit thin. But I mean, what we can do is we can borrow picks from previous or from upcoming years. So usually we can just trade these 3rd round picks to other teams for a 3rd round pick in this year's draft, and we'll be able to make selections even without the picks. So anyways, that is well, hold on, that's one last thing. I'll give you guys one last look at our lines before we sign off. So on the main roster again, this is what we've got now going into basically the playoffs. So we've thinned out our forward group a little bit. It's stupid again. I want Ling. There we go. I want Pedersen basically on my second line here. So that's our offense. It's definitely worse than it was before. Gosh, it completely resets these lines. Here we go. So this is our defense. Looking not bad. Hopefully there's some progress with some of our prospects. And then in terms of our goalies, we have Swayman, Blomqvist, and then we have Silvos and Greentree. I'm going to make Greentree the starter here. And yeah, I think things look pretty good. So anyways, thanks for sticking it out. If you watched all the way up to this point, then I really appreciate that. Hopefully it was an entertaining video and you got some insight into at least how I play this game. And I'll see you guys in the next installment of building the greatest team in NHL 2023 franchise mode. Have a good night or day. I don't know.